So in today's video, I thought I would rank all the different gadgets that are available in Delta Force. Some of them really suck, and I kind of just wanted to talk about them. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should just make a tier list video, just for shits and gigs really, and ranking all the different gadgets and even talk about the ones that I prefer for all the different classes in Delta Force, and of course get all of your comments on what your favorite gadgets are. So the order in which I'm doing this is we're going to start off with the recon gadgets, then the engineer, then support, and finally the assault. So starting off with the respawn beacon here, I think the respawn beacon is like the go-to gadget for the recon class. If you are not using a respawn beacon, albeit laser indicator is pretty good as well, but the respawn beacon is just so useful. It barely makes any noises. A lot of people just run by them because they're difficult to see due to their small scale, especially if you're putting them in bushes and stuff like that. There's 4 uses per respawn beacon. You get one as soon as you respawn. It's an S tier gadget. Like it's a fantastic gadget. And I would say if you're not getting harassed too much by vehicles, if you're playing a recon and you don't have a respawn beacon equipped, honestly, I feel like you're not really doing the job of the recon appropriately, but that might be, you know, a pretty divisive opinion. Moving on to the laser indicator. So the purpose behind the laser indicator is to mark vehicles and allow people with launchers to pretty much instantly lock onto them, or be able to lock onto them with like the AT4 and stuff like that. So it really reduces the amount of time they need to lock onto those if they already have lock-on launchers, and it allows the AT4 to also lock onto any type of vehicle, choppers, doesn't matter what it is. But it is heavily dependent on people actually being able to play with you and coordinate with you when you're lasing targets. So it is a good gadget, but it heavily depends on teamwork to be useful. So I can't really I don't think I really want to put it above C tier, because unfortunately, you know, I feel like teamwork and squad cohesion in Delta Force isn't all that great. Like there's not an actual squad leader and stuff like that. People tend to pretty much play a lot of lone wolf gameplay. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. So like laser indicator is a good gadget, like on paper, but it requires so much teamwork that it makes it like not great, because for the most part, even if you are getting harassed by vehicles and you say in chat, okay, I'm going to start lasing choppers, chances are not a whole lot of people are going to do much about it. So that's kind of why I want to put it on C tier. Next, we have the Claymore Mine. So the Claymore Mine, obviously you can put it pretty much anywhere, and then as soon as somebody walks by it, it blows up, they die. So pretty straightforward. I think the Claymore Mine is pretty bad. You can only put one of them down at any given time. They're pretty easy to see. A lot of the times you're going to get destroyed by some random explosion going off. Honestly, I kind of want to put it in F tier, because I feel like the other 2 gadgets are much more useful than the Claymore Mine. Like the Claymore Mine, if you want to get an odd kill every now and then by putting it somewhere and the chances that somebody runs by it and dies, you know, that's pretty much where the utility stops. So do I think it's probably one of the worst gadgets in the game? You know what? Yes, I think the Claymore's an F tier gadget. It's just like, it's fine, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's really not that great. You're kind of playing selfishly if you're using this gadget, unfortunately. Yeah, I think F tier is probably a good spot for the Claymore Mine. Moving on to the engineer gadget, so we have the active denial system. So this gadget can be very, very good, but in pretty specific scenarios. Obviously, if you're trying to defend objectives, if you're playing on infantry-focused maps where there's choke points, active denial system is absolutely fantastic, because it will block basically all the throwables that are coming towards the active denial system. So launchers, the knife, the arrows, all that stuff, it's blocking all of it, just zapping it out of the air. It is fantastic, but I think it's a little bit too niche for some of the maps, like the more vehicle-heavy maps, where, you know, a lot of the places aren't enclosed enough for it to make sense to use. So I think I would put it probably on A tier. Like in infantry focused maps like Shafton and Knife Edge, this gadget is pretty much a given. If you're playing engineer, you're going to get so many points with this thing. It's going to protect your teammates from any incoming ordinances and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a must-have if you're playing infantry maps. Albeit the flamethrower is also pretty decent at clearing out rooms. But yeah, I think the ADS is a solid gadget, but it's just a pretty specific set of circumstances in which it is useful. The EMP launcher, like, honestly, I don't think I've ever been hit by an EMP launcher ever. There's just way better gadgets out there for the engineer class. It'll basically just destroy electronics and stuff like that, so think spawn beacons, and it'll disable the electronics on vehicles and stuff like that. But I don't know, certain class or operator specific abilities do something basically similar to the EMP, so like Hacklaw's data knife and stuff like that. I think I'd also have to put it on F tier. There's just not much utility for it. You have way better gadgets to use instead of the EMP launcher. Like, I would rather have pretty much any other engineer gadget than the EMP launcher. So and it's also available to the assault class, but again, a lot of the other launchers are just better than the EMP launcher, so I don't really see a whole lot of purpose for it. The Stinger, flat out F tier. It's basically worthless. The lock-on range is too short for it to matter because choppers can fly up so high in the air. Yeah, you only get 2 of them. It takes 2 to kill a chopper. The first one will probably be, you know, the chopper will just pop its flares, and then that one is wasted, so then you only have 1 more, so technically you'd need to go to a resupply station or find an ammo crate to be able to resupply that other one. But by the time you get that first Stinger off that'll actually hit the chopper, it'll be too far out for you to lock on and be able to hit it with another one. You really have to be like multiple people using Stingers and actually focusing the choppers for this gadget to be worth anything at all. Yeah, I really hate the Stinger. I think it's just basically pointless. I would just rather use the AT4 and freehand people that are flying in helicopters, and then you also have the ability to use it on ground vehicles, the AT4, not the Stinger. Stinger's garbage. Moving on to the AT4 that we just spoke about. So the AT4, obviously, you get 4 of them, which is absolutely massive. That's a lot of actual ordnances or warheads that you can sling at enemy vehicles. It does take 4 to take out the bigger vehicles like the tanks and stuff like that. But you know, it's great at taking out helicopters. It can take out ATVs, all that different stuff. I think the muzzle velocity on it, or the velocity of the ordnance, is a little bit too slow for my liking. But I think as an engineer gadget, like if you're playing on a map with vehicles, this gadget's a given. You get 4 of them. You can do a lot of damage. You can take down helicopters. Sometimes they don't die in one shot, which kind of annoys me. I think any helicopter that's getting hit by an AT4 should blow up in one shot. It just feels really bad otherwise, especially when you're doing it freehand. Lock-on, I can maybe understand, but yeah, I think the AT4, do I want to put it in S tier? I think it should have a little bit faster velocity on it to allow you to move, to hit moving targets a little bit easier. I think I would probably put it at A. I think it's just missing a little bit something, especially like not being able to consistently take down helicopters in a single freehand shot of this thing. I think it's keeping it out of S tier. The Javelin, so this is, you know, a lock-on as well. It's for ground vehicles. You can't lock on to air vehicles with this thing unless it's getting lased. I think there's a line of sights that, well, there's not enough line of sights basically for this thing to be viable. A lot of the times the vehicle will drive behind cover, or it's going to just pop the flares or something like that. It's going to pop ADS. There's too many things that can disrupt the actual lock-on of the Javelin. So but it does do a lot of damage. I'd probably put it on the same tier maybe as the laser indicator. It's okay, but in a lot of scenarios you're not going to be hitting your targets because there's going to be popping smoke, and then it takes you at least another 2 to down most vehicles. It's good against quads, I guess, but yeah, I think the Javelin belongs in the C tier as well. Moving on to the flamethrower. Now, I have to admit I haven't used the flamethrower a whole lot. It doesn't have a lot of gas from what I remember when I used it. It acts very much similarly to Uluru's incendiary grenade, where a person will start taking damage as soon as they're in the flames, and they'll keep taking a little bit of damage when they exit the flames. Obviously very good in CQB maps where there's a lot of people bunched up together. You can shoot the flamethrower down range. You can also use it even though you have Seneva's shield out, so you can swap to the flamethrower, which is really nice. At least you can have something to defend yourself with at those longer ranges, albeit the range on the flamethrower is not super great. I think it's like a middle of the road gadget. It's fun to use. You can get some pretty funny clips with it. If you're shooting this down a hallway and there's a lot of people, you'll be doing a lot of damage and at least deterring them from going down that route. I think it's probably pretty safe to put it on B tier. It's also available to the assault class, but personally I think there's probably better gadgets for the assault class if you're playing in the CQB maps. So I think, yeah, B tier is probably pretty good. Anti-tank mine. Now, in Battlefield games in the past, obviously this isn't a Battlefield game, it's a Delta Force game, but just want to make a quick comparison here. In Battlefield games in the past, you could put down multiple anti-tank mines. In Delta Force, that's not the case, and you can't one-shot a vehicle with an anti-tank mine, so it's like, what's the point? A lot of the time a vehicle, like especially the ones that are higher up off the ground, like the IFV, the AA, the assault vehicle, sometimes they'll just drive directly over an anti-tank mine, but seeing as the mine is between their wheel wells, or whatever you want to call them, between their axles, I guess, the wheels aren't driving directly on them, it won't blow up. I don't, be honest, I never see people use the anti-tank mine because it's just not good. It does a ton of damage, but it can't one-shot a vehicle, and you can only put down one at a time. So it's kind of like, okay, I guess I'll disable a vehicle or something and give it time to pop repairs or them to repair it. And you really have to combine it with somebody else that might be using an AT4 or something, or have multiple people put anti-tank mines down. I don't know, it's just a pretty meh gadget. It does a lot of damage, there's just not a whole lot of utility for it, and I'd rather have a launcher of some kind over the anti-tank mine. You can kill like a quad with it in one shot. I think you might be able to kill an assault vehicle, albeit I can't remember if they nerfed it or something. But yeah, it just feels like a really meh gadget. If you could put down multiple of these, then it'd be a lot better. But as it stands, I don't think I can put it much higher than... do I want to put on F tier? I don't know. F or D? I think it's... No, I don't think it's better than like the Claymore Mine and Stinger Launcher. I think I unfortunately have to put it on F tier. There's just way better options out there for Engineer. Moving on to the support class. So the med kit. The med kit is an absolutely fantastic gadget. If you're using the med crate, I think you're really missing out on the power of the med kit. I don't think it's an S tier. Do I think it's an S tier gadget? You know what? I do think it's an S tier gadget. The med kit, you can heal yourself with it. You can heal teammates with it at a distance. You get 10 recharges, and it recharges over time. And every time you spawn in, you get 10. It doesn't start back down at 1 and fills up to 10. You always get 10. You can use it in combination with this red pistol, or, you know, whatever Stinger's healing pistol is called. You can use it with that, so you can double up the healing and make your health go up even faster. There's a slight little delay between how many times you can actually throw this, and sometimes the targeting can be a little bit off because you want to heal yourself, but then there's like a teammate that runs in front of you that throws it at the teammate. But I think that's really like more of a targeting issue than anything else. But I think the med kit is absolutely fantastic. It instantly starts healing you. It instantly starts healing teammates. You can throw them at a distance, and you combine it with Stinger's pistol, healing pistol. It's even better. So you're doubling up the healing. And obviously you can do it on the move. So yeah, I think the medkit belongs in the S tier category. The smoke grenade launcher, why did they implement this? It's not a useful gadget. Both of the support characters already have smoke. D-Wolf has smoke as well. You can launch smoke at a distance, albeit honestly, I don't think you would have this over any other gadget that the support class has access to. I have to put it in F tier. When they revealed this gadget, was it last season or the season before that? I think it was the same season as they released Sineva. I was like, great, more smoke, as if there's not enough already, and why would you use this over anything else that the support class has access to? Maybe if it was for like other characters, but then again, there's better gadgets for other characters, so it's just like kind of a head scratcher as to why they would release the smoke grenade launcher. I just feel like it's completely worthless. The ammo pack is not great, okay? Because every time you respawn, you spawn with only one. It takes like 26 seconds to recharge. You can only have a maximum of 3. You can resupply people on the move, but it doesn't resupply explosives or ordnances and stuff like that. It basically only resupplies ammo. I just think, like, as a whole, it's not that useful considering how many resupply stations there's around the map, and I would much rather have the ammo crate over the ammo pack. I think I'll just put on D tier, honestly. The ammo pack is really not great. I don't see anybody running with this. You could just be better off served with any other gadget on the support class and then just resupply your ammo at a resupply station. Yeah, it's just really, really bad. The med crate. Now, the med crate is obviously good because it can heal multiple people at once, but it does have a cooldown. It is stationary, so you can't really heal people on the move. You have to put it down and then wait for it to recharge to be able to put another one down. I think it's good to heal in especially CQB maps where people are like bunched up. You can get quite a bit of points with this, but yeah, like somebody, if they use it, they have a cooldown until they can use it again. I think I'd probably put it maybe at B tier. It's kind of like that middle of the road gadget. It's good for clumps of teammates to heal, but it's not good enough, in my opinion, to warrant anything more than a B tier. The ammo crate. So the ammo crate is like the bigger version of the ammo pack. It resupplies literally everything in the game. It doesn't matter. It resupplies tactical shields, healing syringes, all the different launchers in the game that you can't necessarily resupply with ammo packs. Albeit the launchers, you can resupply those with resupply stations around the map. But yeah, if you're looking for an ammo gadget, you would definitely want to use the ammo crate over the ammo pack. I think I would put the ammo crate at A tier. I think it's just a little bit lower than the med kit because there's so many resupply stations around the map that resupply a lot of the stuff that the ammo crate also does. And I think just having the med kit just gives you that extra survivability, and it gives your teammates extra survivability as well if you're playing like Toxic or something. So I think it's just like one step down. So yeah, a pretty solid gadget for the medic. If you're looking for ammo resupplies, go with this. If you're looking for health, then go with the med kit. Moving on to the assault gadgets. So obviously we already covered some of them, so we're just starting off with the tactical shield here. Now the tactical shield, you get 2 of them. It gives you 20 extra HP, but what annoys me about the tactical shield is if you take fall damage, it takes away the shield health, which is kind of weird. I feel like the shield should only be damaged by actual physical damage, like you're taking bullets or something, or like an arrow or whatever it may be. And yeah, you only get 2 of them. It does give you extra survivability. You can survive like an extra shot, maybe depending on which weapon the person is firing and how close you are to them. But I think the tactical shield as a whole is a pretty decent gadget for the assault class if you want that extra survivability. I think I would probably put this... I think I would probably put it at A tier. It is a pretty solid gadget for your assault class. It gives you extra survivability, you get extra health. But I do, you know what, I do hate armor plates in any combined arms shooter like Delta Force. So you know what, I'm gonna knock it down just because I dislike it. I dislike the theory behind it where a specific class in the game gets extra health because they have armor plates that they can have. And I hated it in Battlefield 4 and every game that does this, and specifically a combined arms game like that's more casual, right? If you're playing something a little bit more hardcore, then I could care less because most shots will kill in like 1 to 2 bullets. But in a game where time to kill counts, just because I dislike the notion of it, I'm going to put it on B tier, but it is a very solid gadget. Moving on to the anti-personnel launcher. So this thing is basically a grenade launcher that'll deal really heavy damage to infantry soldiers. So it doesn't shoot particularly far. The blast radius is decent. It's pretty much similar to like a frag grenade of some kind. I don't use it a whole lot because I think there's better gadgets out there for the assault class. But it is still really good, especially on infantry maps. On maps that are like vehicle heavy or stuff like that, where there's less people clumped together, you know, it might be good to clear out or force somebody out of a spot. But there's a lot of actual like operator gadgets that can fulfill this exact same purpose, like the Whirlwind Disc, Viren's Magnetic Bomb, or D-Wolf's Triple Blaster. So I think I would also probably put... do I want to put it on B tier? I think I would rather have the tactical shield than this. I think I'll put it on B tier, even though I would rather have the tactical shield. But the reason why I put the tactical shield in the first place is because I don't like the notion behind it. But it is, I think, still a better gadget than the anti-personnel launcher. The high explosive grenade launcher. Now this thing is absolutely, it's tough to rank. It does a lot of damage to vehicles, but I feel like it's inconsistent. It doesn't shoot very far. The arc on it is super severe, so you have to really compensate a lot. I think if it had a better arc and you could shoot it further, it would be higher up on the tier list. But if you combine this with like Viren, so if you throw 2 magnetic bombs on a tank and then you shoot at it with a high explosive grenade launcher, it will die with those 2 magnetic bombs and the high explosive grenade launcher. That tank is gone. So exactly the same scenario for any other vehicle in the game, especially the ones that are like armored. If you hit it with 2 magnetic bombs, you shoot it with a high explosive grenade launcher, you're gonna be destroying that thing. On the other classes, or on the other operators like Nox and D-Wolf, it still can be very good, but I think it really caters to Viren, allowing him to basically take out a vehicle solo without needing the help of anyone else. It allows Nox to defend himself against vehicles. D-Wolf already has the Triple Blaster, which can stick to vehicles. But I think I would definitely rather have the high explosive grenade launcher over the anti-personnel launcher, specifically because when I do play assault on vehicle heavy maps, I'll use Viren. If I'm playing on infantry maps, I'll use Nox because I think he's very well suited for that. But I think I would put this on A tier. It could be better if the arc wasn't so severe. And finally, the healing syringe. So this allows you to inject yourself and heal yourself as an assault character. I think it's better than a tactical shield because it resupplies your health. Unfortunately, it doesn't get resupplied by the resupply stations across the map. You do need to use an ammo crate to resupply these. But it does give you, again, extra survivability playing an assault. because you can heal yourself without needing the aid of a support or a resupply station to get that health back, and you can basically just instantly start healing after you got into a firefight, allowing you to re-engage quicker. I think I would put this on A tier as well. I don't think it's an S tier gadget because you only get 2 uses and it can't be resupplied from the resupply stations, but I definitely think it is a pretty strong choice for the assault class of operators. But holy shit, that's enough rambling for today. Let me know which gadgets are your favorite in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. And also maybe tell me what your least favorites or what you think the worst gadgets in Delta Force are. I'll stop rambling now. I've been talking for far too long already. But yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.